Hey there, everybody. Welcome into this edition of Extra Time on ESPN FC. I'm Sebastian Salazar. With me today, Jan Agafiortov and Julien Laurent. Guys, plenty of questions to get to. Jules, I'll start with you. It's an interesting question, more of an idea. Does Jan and Jules sound better than Gab and Jules? Jules, are you already at the point in the brief history of the podcast where you're considering replacing Gab? Has it been that quick?
I mean, I'm always there to listen to what, offers that could come on the table. People who have power like Jan. Obviously, I'm there to listen. I know that Jan's popularity is obviously much bigger than Gab Marcotti. I know that Jan talks far less than Gab Marcotti as well. So I'll have actually more chances to make my my voice heard and my opinions come across and things like that. And I'm just hoping that Gab is not watching Extra Time tonight, because otherwise he'll be very cross tomorrow morning when we do the show.
Yeah, Gab and Jules podcast, never to be missed. All right, next question. Lionel Messi, Leon Goretzka, Erling Haaland, or Dries Mertens? Who was the player of the week? Jan?
Well, Messi is the player of the lifetime. Erling Haaland had 6 touches, great goals. But I will give it to Goretzka. Goretzka coming for free from Schalke, turning into a great player for Schalke together with Kimmich, central of the field. And I will give it to Bayern Munich, the best team in the world right now.
Wow. Not shy with the hot takes on Extra Time. I guess you kind of answered the next question from Dan, the Orange Man of all people. He says, between PSG and Bayern, which club has a better chance of winning the Champions League? Jules, what do you think?
I think Bayern. Well, I mean, as you know, and everybody knows, I would love PSG to go all the way this time and finally winning it. But I do think that if you stay up and if you look at all the components, and starting with the experience, of course, you've got many players in that Dortmund side who have won it before, who at least have reached later stages in the competition far more than in the PSG squad. Yeah, of course, Neymar has won it before, and Keylor Navas as well. But I think psychologically, Bayern are more ready to cope with the pressure, for example, or the expectations of being one of the favorites. I think they've known how to get there, even if Flick, this is all new for Flick, but it's also quite new for Tuchel, who, yes, he reached the quarterfinals with Dortmund, but this is it. So I would think that in terms of experience, Bayern are ahead. In terms of talent, probably slightly as well. Of course, we've got Mbappe and Neymar, but they have such a strong collective, such a strong squad with big depth as well. Let's hope for them that Lewandowski doesn't get injured, for example. But apart from that, they're so strong, and I do think they have so much momentum. And the fact that they've obviously resumed their season, they will win the league, and then after that have a bit of time off, and then go again for the Champions League. Again, that's an advantage compared to the Parisians.
Next question, a Chelsea question. Would Chelsea prefer the very expensive Ben Chilwell over the much cheaper Tagliafico, simply because Chilwell is a proven commodity in the Premier League? Which of the two would you want, and who else would you target defensively for Chelsea? Age also a factor in that one. Chilwell, I believe, 23, Tagliafico 27. Jan, who would you take between the two?
Well, that's a tough one. When you see the strategy of Chelsea now, they are going for it. Well, that is hard. I would go for the younger guy, and defensively. And I mean, there was a time that we went to Germany to get the defenders. So I think they will still. Now, I'm not sure on that one. I'm not sure how Chelsea thinks at the moment. It looks like they're going big, so they probably go for the most expensive anyway. But I mean, if they get Timo Werner now, I think they will get 3 or 4 great players in, and I'm not sure who they will pick here. But it seems that the owners, it seems that the management of Chelsea is going for it now. They don't want to be in that position. They're going to doubt to be in the Champions League. So I think that is a hard one to decide.
Jules, tough choice, yeah?
Yeah, tough choice. Although I would go for Chilwell if they have the money for 60 million or 50 million pounds to buy him, which is significantly more than Tagliafico. But I think, as you said, he's younger. He's obviously proven in the Premier League because he's played so many times now for Leicester. And also, if you think further down the line, this is someone who will play for England, who will play for England with Mason Mount, who will play for England maybe with Callum Hudson-Odoi, and all the sort of partnership and the understanding that they will build at club level. They will even get better with the national team. And I think playing regularly for your national team with players that you also have in your club squad, I think that's a huge advantage to have if you're Chelsea, then to have the benefit of the work that they do together in the national team as well. So for me, it makes a lot of sense to go and get Ben Chilwell, even if he's, of course, a bit expensive and probably even overpriced, but that's the market in England right now with English players.
Jan, are the current golden generation of Norwegian football better than the 1998 World Cup team?
Not even close. I mean, well, it's a hard one to get, because when we qualified and we started in the 90s, there were no like old players who told them that everything used to be better. I mean, the last time we qualified then for the World Cup was in 1938, and they were not around, I guess. None of them were not sitting in a studio saying that we used to beat Brazil, we used to beat England. What we see now in the Norwegian national team, I think that we should be very proud that we have a Martin Odegaard who's doing well in Spain for Sociedad. We have Erling Haaland who's doing well in Germany, of course. But still, we need a wider team. We need a better balanced team. Norway is a very small country. They are so depending on our generations that we get them through. With Haaland and Odegaard, we will have players for the next 10 years. We have Sander Berge, who needs to take the next step at Sheffield United. We have Ajer, who is a good defender, but it's hard to be a defender at Celtic because they are so dominant in every game. So we can't get him proved every weekend. So if you're asking were we better in the 90s, well, 100%. 100%.
Back in my day. Would Manchester United benefit from signing Donny van de Beek when they already have Pogba, Bruno, McTominay, Fred, Matić, and Andreas Pereira? What do you think, Jules?
It's again a very good question. I think it depends a lot on what happened with Paul Pogba though, and if Pogba goes and if they find a club ready to pay the amount that United want, then if you get Van de Beek, it's perfect. They're not similar profile, but you would get another midfielder, creative midfielder who can play in different positions in that midfield. Someone who works really hard for the team, who thinks about the team first, and I think that would be very valuable for United. If you don't sell Pogba, and if you're not even near to sell Pogba, then I think you're right. Buying Van de Beek, even at a good price, that means a lot of midfielders for only what, three places, really, 2 places, because Van de Beek is not going to play as a holding midfielder. And then you have a lot of competition there, and I'm not sure that then it's worth spending that money on that position when you can use it to buy, for example, another centre back or another left back or even another striker. So I think if Pogba goes, no problem. Van de Beek is perfect for them. If Pogba stays, I think you already have so much talent and so many players in midfield that maybe you can use that money for a different position.
Right, then let's get down to business. Jules, recently on Extra Time, the crew were asked to rank everyone in terms of intelligence. If the criteria was looks, who would finish top and bottom? And a reminder, Craig Burley is not here, so you don't have to feel obligated to mention that he looks like George Clooney.
Okay. I mean, the question was for me, right? Do I really need to answer? Do I actually
yes,
need
Jules,
to answer
yeah.
this question? Yeah? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. You only have one Frenchman with hair on the show, and he has to surely be top of the list. And followed very closely by a Norwegian with longer hair. I think that's fair.
Wow. Who knew long hair was the differentiator? Final question.
I mean, who else could compete with us?
Very
important. Who else could compete with Jan and I? Really? Gab. Come on, let's be serious. Stevie Nicol, Craig Burley. I mean, it's Frank Leboeuf didn't have hair when he was 20. Xhaka is cool. Xhaka is really cool.
People know that all around the world that the prettiest people they are in Scandinavia. In every competition, that is Sweden and Norway, and then I just with the girls and just have a look at the boys as well, please.
All right, I do have one last question, only slightly more serious than that last one. Jan, would you rather be able to touch any object and know its entire history, or be able to communicate with any animal?
Well, that's a film from Eddie Murphy, is it? When he talked to every animal. I would love to talk to our mooses in Norway. I think that is the right word, moose. I would love to talk to our ice bear because they are, as everybody around the world think, they are walking around the streets of Norway. We have a fantastic day today. I've been swimming in our fantastic fjords of Norway. So I would love to talk to the ice bears, how they feel when I come into the water with my long hair, how able and how probably it is for them to eat me when I'm getting into that fjord. So I will choose that one.
Jules, Jan would talk to a moose. What would you do?
I can't beat that. I mean, already in my head, I've got Jan talking to a moose, and I can't get it out of my head anyway. So I think that should be the last word on this extra time. Is just imagine Jan speaking to a moose. I mean, just face to face with the moose, and with a bit of coffee, you know, or the newspaper. Whoa, or what do you think about the Real Madrid Eibar games and stuff like that? That'd be fantastic.
Thank goodness football is back. We have truly dived into the depths of the imagination here on Extra Time. Make sure to catch tomorrow's show. Not sure which animals we will be interviewing then, but Dan Thomas will be back.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.